So we know now how to create major chords, being the 1, 3, 5. What about minor chords? Minor chords are very, very popular, of course, and very important to our playing, so we should learn how to create them as well. They use the major scale formula, or the major scale and then the major chord formula, in a very similar way. All we do is lower the third by a half step, or we flatten the third basically. So let's have another look at it. If we've got a C major chord here, we know it's got the notes of C, E and G. So what we do is we apply a new formula, so that's the 1, 3 and 5 of the major chord formula. Now for the minor we apply a similar formula. It's 1, flat 3 and 5. So it means that all the thirds are going to be flattened down. So if we have in the C major chord, we have the C, E and G, what we're going to do for a C minor is C, E flat and G. So let's just see if we can create that on the guitar. Now we're not going to play the 6th string, we'll muffle that out. We've got the C here on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, so that's the C. And then the next note has to be an E flat. Previously we would have played the E here on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, now we have to play an E flat instead, so that'll have to go down to this note here, which is going to make it tricky to play again, because now we can't do it with the 2nd finger because it's too big a stretch. So we have to change the shape of the chord and do that with our 1st finger there. So we've got these two notes so far, and then we have to do a G note, which can be the open 3rd. Then we have to do another C note, or any other note basically, but we can quite happily do a C, which will be on the 1st fret of the 2nd string down there. That's a C. We can't do anything with the 3rd string, although maybe we could put our 4th finger down with the G note down there if we wanted to, but we certainly can't leave it open. It used to be an open E, but of course all the E's have to change to E flats now, so we can't do that. So we'll just play it as a 4-string chord there like this. And so we muffle out the 6th string. We have to stop the 1st string playing as well, either by not finger picking that string, or if we strum it, just making sure it's muffled out by one of these other fingers, by maybe getting the 2nd finger down there just to lightly touch it. And you have a C minor chord there. So we haven't learned an open chord of C minor, and this is the reason. It's too hard to play. It's too hard to get in time, it's too hard to get it right, because if you have any of these 1st string or the 6th string ringing through, the chord sounds really, really bad there. So it's much easier just to go and do a bar chord of C minor either there or up there. So with the minor chord now, we have a similar formula, being the 1, flat 3 and the 5. Let's try it on an A chord now. So we take the major scale of A, which is A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp and G sharp, and then A again. The major chord is 1, 3, 5, or A, C sharp and E. Now to do the minor chord, we take A, C sharp and E, and we flatten the 3rd. So C sharp would go down by a half step to C natural. So let's have a look at our A chord. That's our A chord there. We've got A, E, A, C sharp and E. What we have to do is take that C sharp note and lower it down to a C. So that's the note here on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. We're going to have to lower that by a half step back to this note here, the C natural. And so we end up with the other shape that we played there with the A minor chord. We're playing 1, flat 3 and 5. And that's how the minor chords work. So you can apply that to any chord you like. You can try it on G, you can try it on Ds, you can try it on Es, and you'll find it always works the same way, being the 1, flat 3 and the 5. So we now have 2 chord formulas, one for major and one for minor. Major being 1, 3, 5, and minor being 1, flat 3, 5. So go forth and practice and really try to get to grips with major and minor chords and constructing them. Again, you'll have to really get the knowledge of your notes to do so though.